time to go racing.
The pressure is really on now. And it's pole position.
And it's pedal to the metal, go, go, go!
Everybody, and welcome along to PSGL Season 29. This is the F2 tier on the PlayStation platform, and we head to the home of the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg for the Austrian Grand Prix. We were last here in Season 28, where changeable conditions made an appearance, and we saw a fantastic battle for the win. One of my favourite races of the season. Will we see something similar tonight? And will we see someone join Valtters, Lars, Netsky and Suko as an F2 race winner this season? My name is Jess Ball, and I'm on my own tonight in the commentary box as my usual co-com alongside me, Owen Wyatt, is unable to make it tonight. But I'm sure we're going to still have some fantastic racing nonetheless, as we've almost got a full lobby, which is great to see. Last week we were at Silverstone, and it was a race where we saw quite a lot going on, and there was also an unfair disqualification. Don't want to talk too much about that, but Suko rose to the challenge last week and took an impressive victory from 5th on the grid. And this was also the 6th race in a row where we haven't seen a driver on pole take a victory. That is kind of like a pole curse. I wonder if people won't be aiming for pole tonight, but something like 2nd or 3rd or something like that. So, interesting. So for those of you that haven't checked our Discord recently or follow our Twitter at PremierSimGL, I highly recommend that you follow our Twitter, by the way, if you haven't already. The calendar has changed ever so slightly to accommodate real-life Grand Prix and the F1 esports event. So instead of ending on the 8th of November, we will be ending on the 13th of December. That does mean Season 30 will be starting sometime after Christmas. The next 3 tracks are as normal, so we have Austria tonight, China next week, Portugal we have the week after, and then Canada on the 18th of October. We talked about the Portimao edition a couple of weeks ago, so that is nothing. That's nothing new, really. So we'll double check with that. But we've got some new changes for the tracks that came after that. We got a break week to accommodate the United States Grand Prix. Our race would not clash with this, but since our Sunday tiers are affected, it's only fair to have all of our PlayStation tiers the same week. It also gives our drivers a chance to have a break, recharge their batteries, ready for the next race. And the next track, some drivers, including me as a commentator, were gutted for this track to be replaced by Portimao on the calendar. Well, most people will be really happy to know that Japan has been re-added to the calendar and will take place for us on the 1st of November. It provided some great races in PSF2, so I'm delighted it is back. We then have another break to accommodate the real-life Mexican Grand Prix, and that's where we go to a week later, in fact, in Mexico on the 15th of November. And then we got the United States Grand Prix on the 22nd of November. We have one more break week because of the 3rd F1 esports event, and we have a brand new addition to the calendar on the 6th of December, and that is Azerbaijan. Some people, it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. Some people like it, some people hate it, but the reason why Azerbaijan was added because there weren't any street circuits on the calendar this season. And I'm sure most drivers don't want to touch Baku after this season. So that is why it is here as penultimate round of Season 29. And that's where we found that we had 6-7 drivers in F2 last season that were still in contention for the championship. I wonder if we'll have something similar this season. We'll have to wait and see once we get around to it. And finally, we finish in Brazil on the 13th of December, and we will know by then who is the PSGL F2 champion on the PlayStation side. So let us know your thoughts for the calendar in the comments or in the live chat, wherever you're watching from. Do you like it? Do you like those changes? Are you not? I know some of you do race as well in PSGL, so some of you may be dreading it. But I like some additions as well, and it's definitely going to spice things up as well. And Baku definitely has a sense of skill. You've got to get it right, and you've got to have a lot of practice. So, and with drivers only having a few, pretty much less time to practice than the other tracks, then I think it should be a very, very good one. So before we head to qualifying, let's look at the drivers' standings, if I can find them. There we go. So we got Valtters leading the way with 63 points, which is a big gap to Baraka in P2 on 37. Closely followed by Suka, who won last week, who came from 7th in the standings to 3rd on 34. We got Kazizel in 4th on 33. Brock is in 5th on 30. Then we got Fabi, Cornet, Haller, Deso, Benny, Daniel, Gil, Simo, CC Brain, Ash Best, who's not here tonight, unfortunately, Louis, Recon, Rize, Kareem, and Valentine. So Valentine, Kareem, and Rize did not score any points so far. None of the Hasses have not scored at all in this league. Well, they did finish last week, but it was a reserve, so technically that doesn't count, unfortunately. But anyway, constructor standings look something like this. So we've got Aston Martin on 89 points in 1st. 2nd, we got Mercedes on 66. Ferrari in 3rd with 46. Alfa Romeo 4th on 37. Alpine 5th. If I can read it properly, I might make this full screen actually, so I can actually see it. That's better. Alpine 5th on 36. 6th McLaren on 32. Red Bull 7th on 29. 8th AlphaTauri on 20. 9th Williams on 18. And Haas, like I said, yet to score, unfortunately. So, without further ado, let's get started with the action in qualifying. And things have changed. It has a bit of drops of rain here. So if I was some of these drivers will need to get their laps in very quickly. So a bit of history about this track. It was originally founded as the Austria ring back in 1917. And it was later shortened, rebuilt and renamed the A1 ring from 1997. Then the track reopened in 2011 as the Red Bull ring as we know it today. And in 2014, that was where it made its reappearance, where Nico Rosberg won that race in a Mercedes. And it's raced there ever since. Max Verstappen won the latest races in the Red Bull. Both races this year, actually. So we're looking at people on their outlaps at this moment in time. So they're about to start their flying lap. So it's crucial that if they don't get their lap times now, they probably won't get pole position as yet. DRS is disabled. So we've got a bit of an anti-climax in qualifying. We've got Netsky, one of the reserve drivers tonight. He has won a race this season. He's looking to add to another into this list. But the track is so slippy. But if you don't finish a lap, then you're probably most likely going to start at the back of the grid. So Netsky comes across the line in P15. So the earlier you went out, the later, basically, you would get pole. Simple as. So I can't pole, man, unless the conditions get better, which we don't know. You never know. It's currently Kareem. Now, Kareem hasn't scored any points for Haas, like I said. Has had some bad luck. Pretty much DNF'd in almost every single one of the races. And I feel like he has a lot more potential in this Haas car. And this is one of the shortest tracks on the calendar. 4.3 kilometres long. It has 10 corners. It is close enough to the 1 minute range on a dry track anyway. And there's 3 DRS zones for overtaking, as we're seeing a lot of drivers struggling at the moment with these changeable conditions. I was definitely not expecting them to be on the soft tyres. Now, we're going on board. Let's see if anyone else is improving, actually. Now, Gil, he is on the intermediate tyres. Now, he feels like it'll be better for him, but I know an intermediate time will be roughly in the 1 minute 11s, I would say. But that would be enough to just sneak into the top 12, I would say. But alternate strategy pole position may not mean anything if he qualifies on inters. but you'll have free choice of tyres nonetheless. Now, we've had a few comments in the live chat saying if it's going to rain in the race. Don't have a clue. I don't ask for the drivers' weather forecast because I feel like it's a bit of surprise for us, and I like surprises. I absolutely love surprises. So there we go. But anyway, Brock unfortunately has retired. He probably was struggling in the wet condition, and Valentine is limping into the pits. And I wonder if we're going to actually get a lot of people out, actually, or are we going to get an early end to the session? Now, I think it was in Brazil, I think, one year. I can't remember in PSGL where it was just... It started dry, but then it was raining a lot, and then the drivers couldn't continue. Or it may be another league. Now, since everybody is... a lot of people going on to the intermediates, that might strongly suggest that it's going to rain at the start of the race, at least. Which I think is pretty interesting. Now, usually I don't go on the intermediate tyres when I race in a dry to wet quali session, only if it's wet in the race. Because obviously you have enough time to stay on the softs, but there may be some people that could get higher, even on the inters. And that is very brave, and they may just get used to the track, I don't know. And if you remember last season, season 28, I briefly touched about it earlier on in the broadcast. It started off like this. It started off intermediate conditions, but then it went off very dry. And I think there was a safety car in the middle of it as well when the dry periods came. And I kind of wish the safety car did not come, because that meant that people that weren't planning to pit, well, they had to. But if there was no safety car, it probably would have spiced things up a bit more, and there would have been some people like Lando Norris, unfortunately, had to suffer on Sunday in Russia, crawling in the rain in the slicks, which I still feel quite bad about, and I know some people in the chat would be feeling quite bad about as well. So, you know, I don't think we're going to get some improvements. I'm going to see if we get some personal best sectors. It's quite hard to tell these days, but Gil's actually only 6/100 slower than his previous best right now in sector 1, so that might mean he could get into the 1010s. Now I'm just looking at the best lap times on these on those. So everyone's on the set their best lap times on the softs apart from Gil. Now at the moment, since they all set their best lap times on the softs, the top 10 will have to start on the tyre that they set their fastest lap on, which will be the softs. And from my reckoning, and as you saw briefly from the graphic earlier, it's an easy one-stop race, soft to mediums or mediums to soft, as Gil has unfortunately invalidated his lap time, so he's going to go into the pits. Let's see how Kareem's doing at the moment. Now, I think we're seeing less crawling at the moment and actually people setting more lap times. Now, we got familiar names in the lobby as well, and a few legends as well that's just popped in. Will Murdoch, who has come out of retirement and is reserving for one of the Red Bulls tonight. I need to actually check which Red Bull it is. I believe it's Simo. Yeah, it is Simo that he's filling in for tonight, as Simo can't make it, so glad that he's back. He is a god in these wet conditions anyway. Remember Belgium, when it was wet, season 26, he won that one. And he's also the king of the alternate strategy as well. And he's a PSGL F2 veteran, being in F2 for quite a long time, actually. So great to see him here as well. I know a lot of you who have been in PSGL for a long time know him. And he is pretty amazing. So, and I think it's his first race on the new game as well. So it may take a while to find his feet, but he's doing quite well at the moment. P9. And yes, if it's a wet start to the race, they will have free tyre choice, yes. They won't be forced to start on the dries, but only if it's a dry race, then they will have to start on the softs if they qualify inside the top 10. So, we all know who's going to get pole unless the conditions improve, which I doubt is going to happen anyway. So Will Murdoch goes into the pits. I'm just trying to see anyone's on a lap. We do have Deso, the other Red Bull, I believe, who is just going through turn 8 and 9 now. Now the drivers have been told to keep an eye on the turn 8 and 9 track limits tonight. So let's see what Deso could do. Let's go on board, actually, with an outlap around this track. Now let me just turn the tyres to normal. Okay, so going through turn 1, you pass the Niki Lauda curb. And you'll be around about 180, 190 miles per hour. You'll be braking slightly earlier up this hill, probably about 100 metre board. And you'll be around about second, first gear when you go up the hill into turn 3. No DRS, don't forget, in these wet conditions. And no tow is allowed either because slipstream is banned. So they're going to rely on driver skill here as they head towards turn 4. Move to the left-hand side a little bit. He's a little bit swervy a little bit there, but he's doing okay. Let's see what his sector 2 split is. Coming towards turn 5 and turn 6. 49.7, 8/10 of his previous best on the Inters. I think it was another driver that set his lap time on the Inters so far. And they only have a few Inters to play with in qualifying and in the full race weekend, just like in real life. So some of these drivers will be going on 2-lap, 3-lap-old Inters, which just warm very quickly and sometimes a lot better, as I found out, as Deso does not improve on his lap time. We got Cohen, who's filling in for Ash Best this week. He is coming across the line, and the other McLaren as well is coming across the line. A 1:10.7 puts in P12, so they are improving. Fabi has retired from the pit lane. He feels like he can't improve anymore. Quite a few people staying in the pits. Here's our championship leader, Valters. A big points gap at the top of the table now. He would need a miracle in order to bottle it because he has been consistent all season, and even if he's qualified low, he's found a way to go up somehow, especially in Britain last week. And he's 2 debs down on his previous best. So I wonder if some people going on the Inters would be better, because I know some people were going on softs when the conditions were getting worse and when the DRS was disabled. So I think the top 4 will remain unchanged. Now let's go on board with Kazizel, who I have to say, I felt so bad after last week. It was a safety car. He was going into the pits and he got disqualified. And it was very, very weird. I think you probably heard it in the stream. Me and Owen were very, very angry about that. And I hope it doesn't happen again. I hope not. But Kazizel is currently still in a decent position in the championship. He's currently sitting in 4th. He was in 3rd last week, but dropped down to 4th due to Suko's win. So hopefully the race in Britain is a race to forget for the Ferrari driver. Don't forget, some of these drivers are new to F2 and some of these drivers are new to no racing line. So, and especially around Austria as well, where it is so slippy, there is no room for error here, as Kazizel almost won a bit wide there, but he just saved it a little bit. Netsky as well on 4-lap-old Inters. He's warming up his tyres. Let's see if he's in the middle of his lap. As I can't seem to select someone. There we go. I've selected someone eventually. So Netsky's past turn 7 now. And I think we're going to see quite a few people going off there, even in the dry as well. Because I did a bit of time trial for another league around Austria. And that's where I keep going off. So here comes Netsky, come across the line. Can he improve on this 1:11.2? Slightly by 13,000 of a second. And it doesn't improve on position P16 for him. And what about Kazizel then? And I believe he has invalidated. But he does get to go again on his lap, which is good news for him. And what about Gil? I think Gil might be slowing down a little bit. I'm just looking at his ERS. Yeah, he is letting people through. And Netsky, I believe, is going out for another lap. And I wonder why he is, because I'm looking at his ERS usage at the moment. He's on around about Oh, as someone almost got caught there in turn 5. That was a Williams driver. I think that was Gill. But he probably moved out of the way anyway. So Netsky is probably going to go into the pits now. And he'll probably go out one final time, or he might be saying a bit of battery. I think I'll probably regret him staying out because he may make so many mistakes. And you can see he's not improved on his time. He's lost over a second. So he should have done a George Russell. He should have done a George Russell technique. He should have done a lap where you're just saving the battery and just getting warmed up. But obviously not. So let's see who is going to be improving. I think not many people are improving, really. I'm just trying to find anybody else. Here comes Suko, last week's race winner. I think this will be his penultimate lap. 1:10.8 is his best time. Or 1:10.7 actually is his best time. And we also got the Ferrari of Daniel, who has invalidated his lap time. I'm sure he would like to go again. Daniel in the championship is currently sitting P11, so he's currently shy of getting the top 10. His best result is a P4 in Zandvoort. Zandvoort was quite interesting actually as well, because that changed things slightly with what the weather throwed at Zandvoort as well. So, and it got dark very quickly, and well, I was expecting Daniel to have much quicker lap times in these wet conditions, but again, for some of these drivers, they may not be used to wet qualifyings, and like me, they mainly practice in the dry. You got to admit it. I know some of you can admit it in the chat that you mainly practice for the dries and not the wets. I definitely do as well. So, and for those of you just joined us as well, the qualifying started dry, but after a minute or two, it started raining. So the ones that went out first, they had track advantage. The likes of Kareem and Baraka, they're going to stay P1 and P2 unless someone sets a scorching lap time. But the conditions are getting worse, so I don't see much point. But again, it's all about experience, because you never know in PSGL when it's going to be raining. And whilst the drivers are on their lap times, don't forget, mid-season sign-ups for PSGL is now open. So if you want to join our Discord, links in the description. That's all the information that you need. And because it's all, I think, it's going into the pits now. The drivers have been, I think, warned about the pit entry. But yeah, go onto the Discord, and there should be a channel where you could sign up. I need to try and find the channel myself, as a checker flag has dropped. And still some drivers getting a feel, but I think there's a PS sign up info channel. A PS sign up here channel, sorry. And follow the instructions, and you also got to do an evaluation race around Belgium. And you got to do a short quali around Silverstone. And only reserve spots are open at the moment. So it comes across the line P11. And you also got to do those evaluation races and short qualifying in the assists that you'll be running for the season. And if you want to know what assists are allowed in each tier, there is a channel which tells you what tiers run when in season 29 schedule channel. So as I thought, as I was trying to find a little bit of a moment, it is Kareem on pole, which will set 1 minute or 2 minutes in the session. And then it was Kazizel in third. We'll go through, I think, the standings, the qualifying standings in just a second. And I think we're just waiting for Louis to go in the pits, actually, and retire. Unfortunately, Louis has invalidated his lap. And luckily he retired just in time. So we're about to get underway for some racing. So I hope you are as ready as I am for this. So, Here we go then. Kareem on pole position. Probably the furthest away of qualifying you will see this session. So Kareem, Baraka, Kazizal, Rizza, Fabi, Valentin, Cornet, TT Brain, Will Murdoch and Bowser. They'll have to start on the softs if it's a dry race. Then we got Suko, Cohen, Gil, Daniel, Haller, Netsky, Louis, Deso and Brock. So that was probably not the most exciting of sessions. I was expecting it to be the closest qualifying. I even said that in the stream last week, but unfortunately, I commentator's cursed myself, so a bit of a shame there. But anyway, and looking at my Sky, well, you won't be able to see it at the moment. It is going to be a dry session. And a quick reminder on strategy is either soft to mediums or medium to soft. Now, the softs can last 16 laps, the mediums can last 21 laps, and the hards can last 26 laps. Deltas are quite interesting as well. The mediums are 0.951 tenths slower than the softs, and the hards are about 1.4 seconds slower than the softs. And between the mediums and the hards is around about a few tenths difference. And the drivers will be pitting around about lap 13 to 16 for the mediums. And if they want to go on the softs, from medium to soft, they want to pit lap 20. And if I was the drivers today, I would not want to touch the hard compounded tyres. I would leave that alone unless you got damaged. But if you want to touch the hards, 26 laps. And if the wet tyres are required in this session, the intermediates can last the same time as the mediums, and the full wets can last the same time as the hard compounded tyres. So they've got to play that into their strategy a little bit. So let's get started with the race and look at the tyre strategy for everybody today. So we've got Suko, Cohen, Gil, Daniel on the mediums. We've got Hadler on the hards. Netsky on the soft compounded tyres. Now, Netsky, I felt like maybe did a bold strategy, and I'm guessing he wants to try and get a lot of overtakes done in this race. And if he gets to around about P11, P10, then he's going to be on the same strategy to the top 10. So he's got to do that. If he does not, then it's the wrong decision for him to go onto the softs. Haller on the hards also intrigues me as well. So maybe he thinks the soft to mediums don't work on this game. Now, I've had word from some of the drivers in this tier that one stop around here is a lot harder on this game than last game. So that's probably why, but we'll see. Haller scored good points for Aston Martin last week, which solidified Aston Martin's lead in the Constructors' Championship. And thank you for watching and so far. And if you're liking the content so far, don't forget to click the subscribe button, turn notifications on, and also follow us on Twitter at Premier Sim GL. We're now on 10k subscribers, which I have to say is pretty insane. I will be checking the chat throughout the stream as well, so make sure that you get involved throughout. "36 laps await our drivers." Hopefully we'll get a delayed start this week. And here we go then. The 5 red lights are coming on for PSF2. And we are underway. Nice start for Kareem, but a much better start from Baraka as they make their way towards turn 1. A better start from the Alfa Romeos as well. Rizze's had a good start too, and some drivers running a little bit wide. Don't forget, some of these drivers, their first experience of the drives in this session is here in this race. Valentin making his way up into second position, to the Hasses are doing well all of a sudden. So I think they made it clean so far. What about turn 3? I'm just looking in the middle a little bit. Looks like the McLaren of Cohen is trying to go on the inside of Daniel. Heading past turn 3 and into turn 4. A little bit of argy-bargy. Kareem has actually dropped a few positions. Rizze's got past now because Izzle is going to try on the right-hand side into turn 5 and 6 then. But Kareem is going to fight back with the switchback. He's not giving up, isn't he? Kareem's up into 3rd. But don't forget, this is our 7th different pole position. And none of the guys who started poles won the race. So we may see tradition repeat itself tonight, but let's hope not. And if Kareem wins for Haas, then it will be Haas's first point. So he has something to fight for. As we just started lap 2. Raka leads by 6 tenths. He's breaking free of his teammate. Teammates can work together here. Because it's always on the back of Kareem. He's going to try and go to attacking mode into turn 3. And he's a lot faster than Kareem. He's showing that with his consistency this season. And that is why he got past him. So there he goes, up into the podium positions. What about Fabi? Can he close in onto Kareem then into turn 4? Not quite, but Austria's quite a thing for these DRS trains around here once we head into lap 3. Lap 3 is when the DRS detection points get validated. And Hadler has dropped down into last place, so his hard tyres, don't forget, around about a second slower than the softs. So he's dropped a little bit. Yellow flag, that is a McLaren of Cohen, who's had a bit of an off, so he must have lost it somewhere. And here goes, I think, Louis and Suko going side by side. Suko's not the best of starts either, and they made a bit of contact into the final corner. And Suko's had a bit of a spin, so last week's race winner has unfortunately having a nightmare of a race so far. And if he wants to win the championship this season, I spoke to him at the start of this season and he said, my goal is to win the championship and nothing else. Well, he's not going to win it if he's right at the back. So, yes, not good for him, so he's in dead last at the moment. Now, with the DRS train going bigger and bigger, the only one that's going to have the benefit is the one to have people in front that do not have DRS. So Valtteri is now up to 9th. Real Murdoch's dropped down to 12th. Now Netsky, I did say P11 was a very crucial position for him, and he needed to get into those positions in order to be having a similar strategy in the top 10. Now, the most crucial thing, though, that he's got to get past Daniel. If he does not get past Daniel, his tyres are going to be so hot. So that will be his next challenge. And if he does, then he's had a good start from his standard. Yellow flag, they CC Brain has had a bit of a spin. Oh, that was a bit of an unsafe rejoin almost from CC Brain, but he's dropped down into 17th position. The traction is quite hard in turn 1 especially. If you miss your braking point, or if you get early on the power, then that's probably what costed CC Brain spin. Now, Suko has got a damaged front wing, so he is going into the pit lane. Unfortunately. Meanwhile, the 2 Alfa Romeos going strong. We have got actually an all Ferrari top 3 in terms of engine. So, and I know Fabi wants to spoil that party over in P4. As Kareem, our pole sitter, is out of this race. Now he's binned it in turn... Oh, has he retired on track? He has retired on track, and Will Murdoch has received a 3-second time penalty. Now, will that retiring on track bring out a safety car? I don't know, and I just hope that Kareem does not do that in the next race, because retiring on track is not allowed in the stewards. Track limits could become a factor as well towards the end, and the ones that will gain the most points here will be the drivers that keep it clean and hardly have any penalties. So Will Murdoch, I think it's going to be harder not to get any less, I think, at the moment. As Gil gets past Netsky, but oh, Netsky is on a charge here. He's like, nope, you're not having my P10. Oh, a bit of wheel banging, a little bit of a slide from Netsky. Just about saved it as well. On exit of turn 6 and 7, Netsky stays in 11th for now. But Netsky's next opportunity for Gil is going to be into turn 1 and possibly turn 3. Now, turn 1 Some people could go for a brave move there. But I wouldn't if I were you. I would say turn 3 because turn 3 has more power and it has 2 DRS zones directly after each other as well. And we're seeing, I think, Fabi dropping a little bit. Fabi's had a bit of a spin as well. Let's hope he hasn't had any damage on his car. I don't think he has. So, but we're going to keep an eye on the gap between himself and Daniel to see if it's any floor damage that he's got. I doubt it, though. It's a bit of a relief for that. Now, Rizzo in second position. Find a bit of time to Baraka now. If Baraka wins this race, this means I think he will close up to Valtters in the championship. Now, his championship rival is currently sitting in P6. Now, Valtters doesn't matter for him where he places, as long as he scores points, because no matter what happens, Valtters will still be leading the championship after tonight. And look at Cazizzo, actually. He's got a brilliant run. 60% ERS, and I'm looking at Rizzo's ERS. Not many, so I think it's advantage Cazizzo. It could be free abreast soon. But Cazizzo does not want to take the risk at the moment. He backs off. This is the next DRS straight I was talking about. The turret is key around here. I can see Rizzo at the front trying to get past his teammate. Again, he backs off as well. Cornet's up to 4th. Let's have a look at the biggest gainers so far this race. So Baraka gained 1 position. Rizzo gained 2. Cornet gained 3. Valentin's gained 1. Valtters gained 4. Daniel's gained 6. Gill's gained 3. Brock's gained 8. And he's dropped 1 place as Netsky and Brock are having a little bit of a battle there. As Netsky gets another position back. Louis gained 4. Hadler's gained 1. Biggest loser at the moment out of the finishers so far. CC Brain down 9. Obviously Kareem down from first to last and DNF. Now I think Cazizzo is payback for him. But I think he realised again he's got to back out. Now, the more times that you back out, the more that the train's going to grow and the more the people behind you is going to gain. Look at Cornet. Cornet's not that far behind either. Valentin is doing a great job. Now, I'm not going to say too much about the Hasses. You guys could say about the Hasses in the chat. But if they crash, don't blame me. I'll blame the guys in chat. And I'm not going to say who either. You probably know who I'm talking about. But anyway, lap 8 to 36 in around about 8 laps time or so, 6 to 8 laps. The drivers on the softs will be thinking about going on to the medium compounded tyres for their one and only stop. Now, we saw in the real-life Austrian Grand Prix a few drivers leaving it late. And I've noticed that the undercut is quite powerful around here on most occasions. But for some of the drivers, it also depends on what gap you have. But everybody from around about first to pretty much 16th is very close. As CC Brady's in the pits. Now, he's got a damaged front wing. Or is he going for mediums? He's going for mediums. Now, that is early. That is early. So, does that suggest a wet end to the race? Or does that suggest that CC Brain is going for a 2-stop? Or it might be damage limitation for him. Meanwhile, Cornet is showing that if Cazizzo can't get past the 2 Alfa Romeos, he can. And Cornet, I'm just looking at Cornet's best lap time. Just give me a second. 1 minute 6.001 compared to the Alfa Romeo of Rizzo, 1 minute 6.163. So Cornet could be the one to break free of Cazizzo behind and try and get past one of the Alfa Romeos, and then he could potentially get past the one that's leading, and he could be leading the race. He hasn't won a race this season. The only chance that he had to winning a race this season was in Bahrain, where he got pole position. He only managed 4th, but to be fair, he was still happy with the 4th position. And just to let you know, because I know a few people are commenting in the chat, yes, I am a lady. I am a lady, just before I let you know. As I thought I saw a retirement actually, but I think it's Brooke and Will Murdoch having a nice clean battle for P10. And Will not getting as much as I thought actually. I think the penalty that Will Murdoch has got has come back to bite him some way. And everyone around him has also got penalties, Netsky and Cohen. And Cornet has jumped the gun now. Now, the drivers might be right. The drivers have said one stop is not easy on this game around Austria. So maybe the 2-stop is a viable option more than the 1-stop. How times have changed on the F1 games. So it could be either soft, medium, medium or soft, medium, soft. Most likely, it's going to be soft, medium, medium. So Cornet comes out. Fabi, and then we got Valters as well. Unfortunately, due to the fact that CC Brain was a little bit too further back, he wasn't able to do the undercut. But we're seeing a battle for the lead. Netsky has got a 3-second time penalty. Rize almost got past his teammate Baraka into turn 4. But he couldn't. Kazizel has now been let free from Cornet, who's just pitted. But will any of the top 4 decide to be like, you know what, I'll box? And Kazizel's like, you know what, I'm going to do that. Baraka's going to do the same. And due to the fact that double stacking, unfortunately, does not work on this game. I don't know why. That's a feature which I think should have been implemented long ago. So Rize has been forced to stay out. Valentine as well is staying out. Don't forget his teammate is out of the race, so I'm a bit intrigued as to why Valentine is staying out. But hey ho, Daniel is staying out as well. But obviously he's on the move, so move's got for a bit longer. So maybe Hadler's hard strategy call might be the best thing. It might be the fact that Hadler was very slow in the race, in the start of the race, but towards the end, he's going to be on fire with those softs. So watch out for the Aston Martin. He may know something that I don't. He could be on shot for the win of this race. I'm not even kidding, but he's got to match the hard runner's pace. We could see a similar strategy to what we saw in Russia, where people were on the hards for a very long time. So Rize and Valentine are going to be pitting now. And that just leaves Will Murdoch, Netsky to pit soon, but then haven't pitted yet. So let's watch out for Cornet. The net race leader at the moment, but will it be one of the guys that pitted? So let's watch out for Rize as he comes out. And I think Cornet is going to comfortably be ahead. So Cornet has timed that undercut perfectly, and he's your net race leader. Baraka in second, Kazizel a net third, Valters a net fourth, and Rize, due to the fact that he stayed out, that he was forced to stay out, he's now a net P5, and he's struggling to warm his tyres a little bit. He almost hit Fabi in the process. They're still banging wheels a little bit as well, heading into turn 4. Fabi defends to the right hand side, and he just about covers it. And Rize, could he go for a lunge into turn 5? It could be the send of dreams if it makes it work. And he doesn't. I did see people try to go around the inside there into turn 5 and 6. And I've tried that once. Do not do it. Do not do it unless you can commit to it. Because I didn't commit to it once and it didn't pay off. So Will Murdoch then goes into the pits then. He goes on the softs. I think those mediums could get to the end. But we will see. And what about VRT Daniel? He's been passed by VRT Gil. And is your race leader on track. Gil, a multiple-time race winner in F2. Also PSGL Season 26 F1 champion. So he's got a point to prove in this tier, but he is liking the challenge of having a wheel. And who knows, we may see him in F1 again in the future. Now, who else is quite close on track? Now, the ones that have just blocked are now got to get past traffic. Now, would I, on old tyres, let them through? Personally, for me, I would. Because I would be holding myself up and the drivers behind up if I didn't let them through. But that's just my personal opinion. And I think Louis is going to do the same. And he's going to possibly try and find a suitable way. And Louis has got a 3-second time penalty as well. But here we go, Cornet. He's going to get a double whammy here. He's going to get past 2 cars. Here he goes. So those are the first lot ticked off his list. Yellow flag, actually. That's Hadler on the hards. And he's got a damaged front wing as well. The driver who I said to watch out for, I think I should just shut up. Because commentators' curses are not good. Not good at all. So we'll have to go into the pit, and most likely you can't go on the softs to the end, so Hadler will have to be forced to the hard to medium strategy, because Izzle gets past Louis now. And the gap will start to intensify now between himself and Cornet, but he's got to get past Deso first. Another yellow flag is probably Hadler, or it might be Valentine. Valentine's struggling on those mediums. Because CC Brain's passed him, so is Fabi, so maybe the much warmer tyres is probably a lot better, but you never know. Valentine's tyres will be a lot better, though, come the end of the race. So, Baraka might defend this, you know, going to turn 3. No, he does not. He backs out. And we got Daniel that switched places with Gil. So, Daniel is your race leader now. And this could mean anything in terms of the pit stops. And if it's a one stop, the drivers will be pitting around about lap 20. Now, Valters does get past Deso as well. So, Valters up into P9 on track. He's currently sitting a net P4, which will be all right for him in terms of the championship. Sometimes you don't need to win in order to win every race in order to win a championship. As long as you stay consistent. And that is what Valters is doing. Valters has won the most races this season. And I'm wondering how Netsky's tyres must be, because the soft tyres only last 16 laps. They don't last a long time at all. And he must be around about the 60, 70% mark. I don't know why he's doing it, or it might just be the game glitching. And he might just be on mediums, but I don't know. He should be going in now, but he might be committing to the one stop. I don't know why he's not come in, personally. He's going to lose so much more time, and the more that you stay out, the more positions you're going to drop. And I'm just being honest here. And the guys of Cornet, Cohen, Cazizzo, well, Cohen is actually catching up anyway, but the likes of Cornet, Cazizzo, Baraka, Valters, Rizet, Fabi, they're catching. So is Real Murdoch as well. So Netsky stays out another lap. Now don't be surprised for Netsky to have a puncher if he carries on like that. So Netsky, because you can't do soft, you can't do that. It's literally impossible to do a soft in Austria. Because you can't use the same compound. You've got to use at least one other tyre compound. Now, someone has just asked a question in the chat on how do you join the league. Well, good question, Mounty. Mid-season sign-ups are now open for a reserve driver seat. So if you are interested, sign-ups are on the Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description. Join the server. Oh, has Gil spun? Gil has spun, so that means Daniel's in the lead. On track, Brocky second. Netsky will inherit third on track. Or will he? Will he go to the pits? No, Netsky is still staying out. Netsky, what are you doing, my man? What are you doing? I would like to know if he's actually on softs or if it's just the game glitching. I do not know. But anyway. Yeah, as I was saying, the link to sign up, you have to join the Discord, which is in the description. And then it's a sign up here channel for PlayStation and PC, depending on what platform you are interested in. as, oh, we've got a bit of a timing error there. And you have to do one evaluation race around Belgium, 50%. More information about how you do that is on the Discord. And then you do a short qualifying around Silverstone. And you have to screenshot your race director for both. And then, obviously, our league directors, there's quite a few of them now, because they hired 2. We'll look at them, and then they will place you as a reserve in a specific league if there's space. So, Netski is finally in the pits. And hopefully that's answered your question, Mounty, about how you sign up. And he's on the mediums. Louis is pitting now. He's probably going to go for softs. I'm almost certain he's going to go for softs. Or is he going to go for another set of mediums? No, it's softs. Now, if Netski could go 16, 17 laps on the softs, then I'm sure Louis can. But anyway, still Daniel and Brock, Gil, Cohen, still to pit. Wouters gets past Gil as well, so Gil's tyres must be toast. I think 21 laps, I think these mediums last around here, so not a lot. But I think maybe Gil will take a few laps, I think. And Rizze needs to get past. You can see the gap increase between the likes of Cornet, Kazizal, Baraka, Wouters. And he knows that he's being held up if he's not careful. So Rizze is probably thinking to himself, what are you doing? Let me pass. But Gil has the right to defend. Because you never know, there could be a late safety car. So we're seeing more drivers ping onto the softs. I did see someone spin. Who was that? That was a Williams. That was a Williams. That was probably Gil again. Was it Gil? No, it's not Gil. It's the other Williams. But anyway, we might be in Alpine anyway. So Cohen Deso is going in. Valentine. Oh. He's gone on for another set of medium. So is he in soft, medium by any chance? Has he pitted? Wait, hold on. Has he pitted twice? Yeah, he's pitted twice. I'm not sure if he's picked up damage. Oh, that is interesting. Will we see the guys? Will we see Cornet, Kazizal? Will we see them box? Will we see them box for another set of mediums? Or will they be committed to the one stop? What would you do if you were there, Jeffs? Brock's in. He's on for the soft compounder tyres. Now, the softs are going to be the faster tyre, but they're going to lose so much more grip and lose so much pace towards the end of the race if they pit now. So, but they are taking the risk. So let me get the tyres up again. There we go. So it just leaves Daniel and Gil now. And I don't think Cornet will be fighting too much once he gets near Daniel. As I think Baraka gets past Kazizal. Yes, he does. So Baraka is up into 3rd position. But I know Kazizal does not want to give up without a fight. Kazizal unrightly had a disqualification, and it's just making him more hungrier for much better results. He wants that race win. Technically, he can still get that race victory. So many things could happen. There hasn't been any VSCs or safety cars yet. Most of these drivers have been keeping it very, very clean on the track so far. Daniel is pitting for soft now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers who have got penalties so far out of all 19 runners, which I have to say is pretty good going. I thought I was expecting a lot more people getting penalties. Now, Kazizal, he's going to have the DRS. Does Baraka have the DRS from Cornet? He does not. He does not then, so I'm sure it's going to open a door for Kazizal then. I don't think he's close enough. He's not using his overtake either. And when the drivers use their overtake, remember, it lights up in green. But I'm guessing he wants to do a little bit of ERS saving, which is hard to do around this track. Meanwhile, Daniel, on those freshest softs, gets past Will Murdoch up into 7th. But again, Will Murdoch will be fighting every moment on the track right now. He's currently sitting in a very good 8th position. But we also got Brock, who's also on the softs, who could be chasing. A big difference between the softs and the mediums, don't forget, so watch out. But we're going to keep an eye on the drivers that push too early, because if they do push too early, you can already see Brock is using his overtake. It could come back to bite them at the end of the race, and Brock just picks up another 3-second time penalty. So does Hadler. And every time I say about penalties, people get more. So not going to say anything. Not going to say anything. And Bouters aren't going to see positions gained, because I think most people have made their stop. So Cornet's gained 6. Bouters has gained 6. Now, don't forget, Suko won the race from 5th on the grid last week. Cornet, I believe, started 6th. So, are we seeing a tradition that people starting in, like, 3rd downwards are winning the races? I know Valves, a couple of races started in P2, but that's beside the point. But Valves also could still win this race. Well, Valves' pace is on fire as well. So, incredible stuff. Now, don't forget also, there's some more PSGL action tonight. There's also the top tier of PlayStation in a few minutes. So make sure you have that in the background as well. But they're just going to be starting qualifying. This is where you want to be on a Monday night, because we still got a race. We still got about 12 laps to go. And it's just getting even more intense. So grab your popcorn out, ladies and gentlemen. We still don't know who's going to win. We literally still don't know. I know Cornet's about 1.5 seconds. Clear Baraka, but the leaders cannot become complacent. They just can't. They just can't. Because they could get a penalty, and if Cornet gets a penalty now, that could bring Baraka into this. So this could be a fight for the win right now. And that's what Caziddel's got to be thinking in his mind at the moment. And Caziddel's doing a really good job holding his own in the Ferrari. And he's definitely forgetting what happened last week. So, here we go then. Cazizzle, Wouters. Rizzi has unfortunately dropped off from this train. This is the main train we're going to see there, folks. And they're drawing it in. Let's watch Cazizzle. Cazizzle's going to go to the right-hand side into turn 3. Surely this move is his, and I think it is. Cazizzle is having to feature this race. Baraka had no answer to that. But what about Wouters? Is Wouters going to get Baraka, or is Baraka going to fight back Cazizzle heading towards turn 4 maybe? No. No, he does not. But the more that they keep fighting, Cornet's going to be like, you know what? I can increase that gap quite a lot here. And the top tier is on the same channel, yes. And, oh, no. Valentin is out of the race. He's binned it in turn 1. And we got a VSC. We got a VSC, so that makes another race where all full-time Haas drivers in F2 DNF. We just can't get any luck. They're just not doing very well in this tier. Now, I wonder which safety car is going to the VSC is going to benefit. I don't think it's going to benefit anyone unless you're near the back. And maybe Hadler could pit for softs. But you don't want a chance because you don't know when the safety car is going to come in. And I agree, Matthew Firth, I agree. Stay here until the end of the race, and then after the podium, that's when you can tune into F1. There you go. That's what I do every week, technically, but I still got to do podium interviews at the end, so, yes. But anyway, when is this VSC ending? Look at Louis, he is so eager to get going. And Cornet is owning that safety VSC, so is Cazizzle as well. Oh no, Cohen's got a drive through. He's sped on the VSC. A lot of people get caught out by that. And to be honest, I do as well. I've been caught out by that so many times. I think one of them was France. It was a VSC and I had a drive through. That was on the last game now, I believe. But the delta just comes out so much quickly when the VSC is ending. So you've got to be looking at your delta at all times. And Kareem's in the chat. Sorry to hear what happened, mate, in the race. Here comes Valtters on Baraka. That was an easy pass for him. Valtters up into 3rd place. He can still see the win on his sides, but Baraka right on the gearbox. He's using his overtake. Here he comes then to the left. Both of them trying to leave each other space. And this is a ding-dong battle between the two titans of the championship. Baraka is up into P3 of this race, and he's now going to be chasing down once again Kazidle, and he's got to get within DRS of Kazidle now in order to stay in this fight. I wonder if Cornet's getting a little bit too wide, knowing that the likes of Baraka and Valtters is also catching up. And you've seen that the ERS levels, it's around about the 30% mark for all drivers. So it's crucial that they use their overtake effectively, I have to say. And just a quick reminder of how many tiers we have in PSGL. In PlayStation we have 13, and in PC we have 5. So altogether we have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 tiers altogether. That's huge. And that is big work for the stewards. But they have quite a lot of stewards now, so which I think they split the duties up a little bit. But I don't know how they do it. But anyway, 18 tiers in total. 5 on PC, 13 on PlayStation. And all catered to different abilities. And this season is going to go on to around about December, which is incredible. So I hope you're all here until the end of the season, because it's going to be an absolute cracker. Kazidle's now brought the gap to 1.1. You can see it's getting a bit darker now, a bit overcast. Will we see a threat of rain? Maybe that's why people were practicing on the intermediate tyres earlier. They were probably thinking it would come earlier. Maybe the rain may not come at all. Maybe Cody's is just teasing us a little bit, potentially. Baraka's lost out to DRS to Kazidle, and this might come back to bite him. Valtters is going to get him into turn 3. But Baraka may do the same thing. They're still going side by side into turn number 4 now. Who's going to have the DRS, actually? It is Valtters still. So Valtters does get the podium spot. So Baraka has lost out, unfortunately. Daniel and Fabi also having a little bit of a scrap as well. Daniel up into P6. Now let us know your predictions in the chat. Who do you think is going to win this race? And Joel Granger. Hi Joel, nice to see you. He is saying Kazidle to win. Netsky's doing quite well as well. He's in a 2 freeway car fight actually for P8. Brock could get 2 of them. Oh, that was very close, my friend. That could have ended in tears. Now it's starting to get a bit lighter again, so maybe the threat of rain is not happening. And to be honest, I don't want it to rain around Austria. It just doesn't make races exciting, I can tell you. When I race, I like it to rain, but when I commentate, I would like the rain to stay right away in Austria. So here comes Will Murdoch on Netsky then. Ooh. No margin for error between these two. I wonder if Brock could dive up the inside. Surely someone has to back out. It could be free abreast into turn 4. Surely not. It is going to be free abreast. Brock, look at this. Brock with the dive bomb of the century here. Absolutely fantastic. I know he's got a penalty, but Brock is up into 8th place. Netsky is going to try and go on the right-hand side of Will Murdoch and try and get 9th place, and he does get 9th place. Wow, these three, that was incredible racing. I know they were on different tyres, but the soft tyres could start to degrade very, very soon. And it could mean anything, so watch out for those medium tyres. And Cornet might have just done enough to win this race. But what about Valtters? He's got Kazidle in his sights now. Well, Valtters is on fire at the moment in this Aston Martin. And I did say Kazidle might be feeling a bit worried. I think he is now. But Kazidle might climb up to third in the championship. Haller's out of the race. Can we see a late safety car? No, he's retired in the pit lane. He has retired in the pit lane, so he has given up. I think he had a horrible race, to be fair. He's not going to score any points for the Aston Martin squad this week, which I feel so guilty about for him. He's going to hope. Oh, and I think we have another yellow flag. That's Will Murdoch that's had a bit of a spin. Turn 7 in the gravel trap. Not many people did get caught out here there, actually. And Will Murdoch, one of the few. So the yellow flag is still going to be there. Valtters on the charge now. He's doing kind of like a Max Verstappen type recovery, I have to say. He'll be getting a 3-second time penalty, but enough about that. The top 6 basically have no penalties. Daniel having a good recovery drive. Brock's get up to 8th place. But is Netsky going to be on the attack? Into turn 4? No, not quite. It's just so hard to just track these battles because there's battles everywhere. Will Murdoch going for the soft tyre. He's probably going to try and steal the fastest lap point. But you do not get the fastest lap point if you're outside the top 10. Second chance for Shazoo Valtters to get P2 now. He's got to. Because otherwise he cannot challenge Cornet for the race victory. Don't forget turn 1. You just get so blinded. It's just very, very difficult. So anyway, Valtters on the back now. This surely has got to be the move he's looking for. Yes, it is. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There's all of this is allowing Baraka to catch up to Kazizel. And Kazizel is probably thinking, oh no. And he's going to go on the attack. Baraka, he's trying to go for as little room as he possibly can. Daniel also got past Rize there. And he's up into P5. The highest soft runner, who I have to say is definitely one of my drivers of the day on the alternate strategy. Suko has unfortunately retired from the session in the pit lane. It is too late for a safety car, unfortunately. So I believe we're on lap 35 now, 36. Still yellow flags being waved in sector 1. I believe that was people going out of the pit lane. And I think Kazizel might have lost touch against Valtters now, but you never know. Make sure you stay tuned till the end. Thank you to the 176 people that are watching this stream. We've got Netsky that's got past Brock. But is Brock going to go on the attack again? This is insane battling between these two of them. CC Brain, by the way, 25 laps on those mediums. There'll probably be puncture territory soon. So fair play to CC Brain for doing it. But he's not going to get any points for it unless people get more penalties. So you never know. Will Murdoch's currently setting the fastest lap as well. Louis now out of the race too. He also retired in the pit lane. Brock's now up into 8th. Watch the final lap battle for the race. Pretty much P2 now. I don't think the race win is in Valtters' reach at the moment, but you never know. You can't become complacent, like I said earlier. So Kazizel, he's got to go for the lunge. He's got to go for the lunge, get P through it too, back from Valtters, and he does. But he's lost DRS, I think. Oh no! Baraka, Kazizel, and Valtters all 3 of them collided, and they're out of the race, just like that. And I did just say, do not become complacent and not go for risky moves like that. And they just did. That would have been a safety car if it came like 6 laps ago. That was an intense end there, my oh my. I think they were trying to go for your best, but it did not work. Unfortunately, the camera angle did not capture that too much, but Cornet is going to celebrate. He doesn't care what happened behind. He's going to win his first race in PSGL F2. Daniel, he couldn't believe his luck. Gets P2. Rize gets his first point of the season. Fabi gets P4. 25 laps on the mediums. Great job to him. Brock gets P5. Gil P6. Nexky comes home 7th. That is a demolition derby and a half. CC Brain in 8th. Deso in 9th. And Cohen is going to get the final point and take his first point in PSGL F2 this season as reserve driver. And I don't know who's got more penalties, Cohen or Will Murdoch, but we'll see. And we'll just wait for Will Murdoch to cross the line. And Will Murdoch just missed down point. But that was probably the most bizarre finale to a race I have ever seen. You just do not like. I think someone. It was hard to tell who was at fault there, but I'm almost certain that was gonna go to the stewards. That is definitely going to be investigated after the race. So I will give a rundown of what happened for those stewards' results. We got a Dutch podium and a Danish on the podium as well. Insane. Honestly, I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock that you blow away a podium like that. Baraka and Kazizel, Vouts as well. I do believe they still get classified. That doesn't do too much to the championship though. Vouts still leads, but it's still the same gap because they get no points. Oh my word. So, Cornet wins his first race of the first race. He wins his first race of PSGL. Daniel from P14 to P2. He kept out of trouble and he got rewarded for it. There we go. He gets my driver of the day. Brock as well from P19 to 5th. Another driver of the day nomination, I have to say. Risse in 3rd. Great. He needed that result today. He needed that result and it paid off. Hardly any mistakes apart from that penalty that he got. So well done to him. Fabi, P4. Some decent points from McLaren today for him. Brock in 5th. Gil in 6th. Netsky in 7th. CC Rain. We thought days tyres were going to go full off the edge of a cliff, but it didn't. Deso in 9th. Cohen in 10th. Will Murdoch's your final finisher. I'm sure Baraka, because Bowsers will be classified. They'll just get no points, but I'll need to double check with the rules on that one. But your definite retirement anyway are Suko, Louis, Hadler, Valentin and Kareem. So that has been PlayStation F2 and what a cracker it has been, folks. It has just been absolutely amazing. And we hope you enjoyed it. We'll see if any of the drivers would want to come in for an interview. I'm sure that that they won't be wanting to come in, especially like the likes of Kazizel and Valters. I'm looking at the chat and I'm scared to look at it right now because it's probably going to be absolutely chaos, the F2 chat. So, yeah, I'm going to lead them to talk amongst themselves about what happened. I think some of them were under huge shock there. But anyway, we're going to move on next week to China, I believe is next week's race. Yes, it is China next week. Which I have to say, turn 13 can catch you out quite quickly as well. And also the very tricky corners of turn 1 to 3 to watch out for as well. You can go for a move into turn 4 and also turn 6 if you're lucky as well. But China is a pain on the tyre life. So these drivers have got to be good on the strategy. If they're not good on the strategy, then they're probably having a bad race next week. And also it can throw some sprinkles of rain into this. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Since no one, I think, is waiting in the interview room, we're going to leave you with PlayStation, well, PSGL, PS, F1, which is on right now. They're on the middle of their qualifying session. I'm actually going to have a bit of a nose to see what the weather is like for quali. And it is a similar situation to what we saw in F2, but it started off wet. So, there we go. So, that is the situation in PSF1, folks. Make sure you get that right now. Let me just put the link in the chat before we head off. There you go. So click that link right now. There's also, I believe, There's also F8 and F7 streaming right now as well. So if you want to check those out, please do. But for now, I've been JessGames95. Owen White should be back in the commentary box with me next week. We will see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And good night.